early childhood pregnancies has been a really negative impact on our society nowadays. And here with me in KCO University, I'll be interviewing specific students, or rather any student who I'll find, to talk about early childhood pregnancies, their negative effects, and the possible way to curb this issue that is in the society.
What?
Hello. My name is Jeffrey, and here with me I'm doing a feature story on early childhood pregnancies. So, according to you, say something about childhood pregnancies. What brings childhood pregnancies? Yeah.
So basically, I believe that childhood pregnancies, majorly, these pregnancies have been brought up by carelessness by our teenagers, because it's really rampant among the teenagers, especially in this county, Kilifi and Homa Bay. I don't know why, but it's something that has come up. Youth wameamua kuwa lazima enjoy maisha. So that's a major cause of early childhood pregnancy, and it has really affected. Once the time of COVID, very many girls have really got into premarital sex and stuff, and they've gotten pregnant, and also got HIV. Yeah.
So according to you, what is the possible way to curb this unfortunate issue?
So basically, I believe the best way to curb this is by teaching our children that sex is not a bad thing. Because when, unajua, that thing that you're always told not to do, when it's always like this, when something is low, then it's meant to be broken. But when you leave people to live in a laissez-faire, free to do anything they want to do, most of the time they won't go and explore, because you've left them free, and they'll use protection, because they'll also think. But when you are like limiting them, they'll be hiding somewhere without thinking of protection. Go for it.
So, like, if I may ask you, do you mean that the teenage people are the one to blame? So, like, you know, some of the time the teenagers get pregnant, that is early childhood pregnancies, but in real sense, the one who impregnates the teenagers are the employed people, the married people, big people who have families, are the ones who give our teenagers pregnancies and early stages. Do you really mean that the teenagers are the one to blame, or both parties?
So in my perspective, I believe that, teenagers are to be blamed. They're to be blamed because most of these pregnancies are amongst teenagers to teenagers. When you get the ones that happen on like the professional people and teenagers and stuff, mostly it's brought up by the one for money. And I think in this case, the best way to solve such an issue is by involving the chiefs, maybe if there is a villages, or maybe in town, go to the police officer and report these cases, because it isn't right for people, professionals, people who have jobs, big people, 45 years old and above, taking advantage of young children because they want fresh water. You see, that's so wrong. And I believe that both parties are the ones to be blamed in this case.
And to this working class people who will neglect the teenagers,
yes,
what do you think is the best measure that should be done to them if they get caught?
I believe that this working class should be given a good sentence. And because Kenyan people know how to maneuver sentences, I believe that they should be given a big hit financially. Unamwekea tu hapo hata 10 million. It pays, because you want to impregnate our girls. No, you shouldn't do such a thing.
And if
it's something that is wrong. You see?
He has to go to jail.
Yeah, he has to go to jail. He can't just impregnate a little girl. No. For me, it's a big offense, and it's punishable. Punishable by what? I know the law today in Kenya, people use it as they please. Once you have money, you'll be able to deal with the law. But when when let's say I'm worth 10,000 shillings, I impregnate a girl, for example, I'm worth 10K, and you give me a fine of 30K, I learn a lesson. But then when you do it financially again, and somebody's worth 50 billion, and you give him a fine of 1 million, how will it affect you? Now you see, yeah. So I think that's the best penalty.
Thank you so much. On to the next student. Come.
Hi.
So here I'm doing a feature story, early childhood pregnancies. So what's your take on early childhood pregnancies?
Early childhood pregnancies. You mean
teenage pregnancies,
children
yeah,
getting
children
yeah.
getting children, or even big people,
Okay.
even adults with children.
First, if on my part, the first person to blame if a child is the parent or the guardian, because if a child aged like 15 is getting pregnant, or 18, a minor that is getting pregnant, that shows that the parent didn't teach her good morals. Okay, on the other part, it may not be directly linked to the parent, because some are victims of rape. Yeah. So I think on my part, it should be that people should embrace the culture that was there before. You see? Whereby people respect each other, respect the gender-based violence, because when there many children getting children, that's because I call them that because they are like it's because yeah.
There has been a high rise in cases of pregnancies of late during the past pandemic period. So what do you think brought this up?
You know, but there I saw that, was it in Machakos County?
Yeah.
Something like that. It had the highest number. I think it's because, you know, now the children are fond of going to school every day now that they have freedom. And yeah, the teenagers. And maybe the high schoolers or the adults, now they take their advantage. Like a teacher, there's a teacher kwangu mfunze math kidogo. So it's not math that they are going to learn. It's the other math.
So according to you, should they abstain or should they protect themselves? When teaching your child, when teaching a child, should you teach them to abstain or protect themselves according to you?
Yeah. Abstain. I'll teach them both. Abstain and protect themselves. And I think it will be better if the schools introduced self-defense means also for girls, because girls are most
Rape cases.
yeah, on rape cases. They introduce self-defense, and on life skills lessons they teach them the effects of sex before marriage. Yeah, but I think it would be better that to have better society. Karibu.
As you're going forward, let me introduce the next student who's going to. So, okay, I'm talking about early childhood pregnancies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it has been a very bad case that is going on. So, what's your take on early childhood pregnancies? What's the causes? Yeah, what's the effect? And what do you think should be done to stop it?
So early childhood pregnancies. This is getting pregnant, of course, before you are legal age, that is 18. It's a common problem in Kenya, but I haven't seen it in Nairobi as such. Though when you go to remote places, there's so much of teenage pregnancies, because I think the main issue is lack of exposure. You know, the moment you come out here, you see ladies in their 20s driving good cars, earning money, and they don't have kids. You want to be like them.
Yeah.
But when you're in the village, your mom maybe sired you at 14, and you getting pregnant at 14 doesn't seem like an issue. I know many might differ with what I'm saying, but I feel like exposure is the main issue as to why there are so many teenage pregnancies. So yeah, how can we prevent it?
Yeah.
Abstinence. And if you must have sex, why am I whispering? If you must have sex, use protection. That's it. Yeah.
So to you, it's both abstinence and protection. You don't really consent.
It's either. You decide, because at the end of the day, you're supposed to remember this STIs, HIV and AIDS, which is incurable. So it's you to protect yourself, because if you don't, no one will. Yeah.
And so to these adults who take advantage of the teenagers and their children, what do you think should be the perfect discipline?
jail for life.
Jail for life.
Jail for life.
According to me, I think that's a really nice thing. Jail for life. Like for example, hata mimi nikisikia, if I take advantage of a younger teenager, I'll go to jail for life. It's automatic. I'll just get afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, wrapping it up, I've given you a hint of what early childhood pregnancies tastes like in the campus students. Thank you. It's Geoffrey Risi, the one and only.